Quite a busy week to reflect upon, most notably in Alaska between the US and China. Rebecca, I'll start with you. What were your reflections on what happened?
Um, so it was quite extraordinary. We weren't expecting much from the conversations, but let's just say all diplomatic gloves were off. They seemed to be firing rhetorical broadsides at each other. Let's just say it wasn't a presidential meeting. It was the secretaries of states, the Foreign Office, and the defence side of things meeting. So it was really to set the tone for how US-China relations were going to develop. And what was quite clear, the US laid out their concerns, same concerns as under Donald Trump, but particularly sharpened by Hong Kong, the Uyghurs and human rights, of course, but also incursions in the Taiwan Strait, the coercive strategy towards Australia and China's trade with Australia, and obviously Japan as well. So US had a lot of concerns. China walloped the ball back again and said, well, actually, we believe that we're never going to invade another country, but you're invading our national security by having the approach that you have. And this is domestic for us and it's nothing to do with you. So it started things off on a very bad footing.
Jack, what was your analysis of it all?
Yeah, well, I mean, very similar to that of Rebecca. I mean, I think it was described as undiplomatic, the meeting. So definitely an explosive start to proceedings between the United States and China. The interesting thing is you have to look at this from different cultural perspectives. So the United States still adopts a mentality where it sees military build-up and a lot of the actions that China has taken as being potentially expansionist, at least in, if not in geographic or physical terms, and definitely perhaps in cyberspace and in the trade space, and perhaps you might even say in a sort of cognitive sense as well, that actually trying to expand into areas that maybe the United States has seen itself as being more autonomous in. So the interesting thing here is, from the Chinese perspective, things like military buildup, they don't necessarily believe that they have the intent to use these military capabilities, but from a Western perspective, it still comes across as very threatening. So what you had is two sides that essentially is a clash of cultures. And it's the difficulty, I think, is going to be reconciling those two differences, because they're at fundamentally different ends of the spectrum, and finding that middle ground that I think before Biden came in, and Antony Blinken as well, that maybe there were some hopes for something slightly more, let's say, good-natured, but it seems like it's going to be a sort of rocky road ahead.